Imagine this. You sit down after a long day, exhausted, your mind stretched tight like a string, your emotions swirling like a whirlpool you can't step out of. And you're not even sure what drains you more: work, social media, invisible expectations, or the emotional clutter you never had time to process. If you've ever felt this way, you're far from alone. People who follow my channel, Stoic Awakening More, here in the US often tell me, I feel like my emotions are driving my life, not me. And trust me, I understand that feeling more than you think. I once worked with a young woman named Madison in Manhattan. Smart, hardworking, with a great job, but every morning she woke up with a tightness in her chest, like the world was asking too much from her. She told me, I'm not afraid of failing, I'm afraid of the feeling of failing. You see it, right? We're not just tired because of work or life, we're tired because of our emotions. We're drained by thoughts we never slow down to name, feelings we never give ourselves permission to acknowledge, and then we blame ourselves. Why am I so weak? Why am I overreacting? Why can everyone else handle things except me? But here's the truth, you're not weak, you just haven't learned how to talk to your emotions yet. In Stoic philosophy, there's one principle I repeat over and over on this channel. You can't control the world, but you can always control how you respond to it. It sounds simple, but it has the power to change everything, because most of the pain we feel doesn't come from the event itself, it comes from the meaning we attach to it. Think about this, you're driving and someone cuts you off. You could get angry, yell, slam the steering wheel, or you could just shrug and keep driving. Same event, two completely different emotional worlds. That's what the Stoics understood thousands of years ago. Events don't dictate your emotions, you do. But I know, saying it is easy, living it is harder. In today's world, everything moves too fast. We don't have space to pause, to breathe, to ask ourselves, does this emotion actually belong to me, or is it just an automatic reaction I haven't learned to observe? Many of my viewers tell me that emotions hit them like a wave, so strong and so sudden that they get swept away before they even realize what's happening. And that's normal. No one teaches us how emotions work. No one teaches us how to regulate them. That's why I made this video, and that's why Stoic Awakening More exists, to help you reclaim authority over your own mind, to help you see that emotions aren't the enemy, they're signals. And when you look at them through the Stoic lens, calmly, objectively, without judgment, you start realizing that you're far stronger than you give yourself credit for. Today we're going to dive into the art of emotional management through Stoicism, an art that has helped thousands of people I've worked with become calmer, clearer, and freer inside their own minds, and I believe it can do the same for you. Let's begin. 1. The core of Stoicism: focus only on what you can control. When we talk about managing emotions the Stoic way, I want you to remember one thing. Stoicism doesn't teach you to shut down your feelings. It teaches you to choose how much power those feelings have over your life. And it starts with the single most important principle the Stoics ever gave us: control what you can, let go of what you can't. I remember one of my clients in Boston, Daniel, a 38-year-old business owner who always felt like he was being pulled by life. He worried because his employees didn't do things the way he wanted, because clients kept changing plans, because the market shifted constantly. He once told me, I feel like my life is running, and I don't even know where it's running to. One day I handed him a blank sheet of paper and said, split this into 2 columns. On the left, things you can control. On the right, things you can't. He wrote, what I can control: my focus, my work, my words, my reactions. What I can't control: what people think of me, the market, my employees' attitudes, unexpected problems. He stared at the paper for a while, then sighed. I've been building my entire emotional life around things I don't control. And that's what so many of us do. We pour our energy into things completely outside our reach. Whether people like us, how they react, whether life goes according to plan, what will happen tomorrow. And when you try to control what cannot be controlled, you burn out. Stoicism offers a shockingly practical solution. Put all your energy into your part and release the rest. Not giving up, not being passive, just letting go of the unnecessary emotional burden. I once told a viewer on Stoic Awakening More, "You'd be amazed how light life feels when you stop carrying what was never yours." And that's the foundation of emotional management. Because most of our anger, stress and disappointment come from wrestling with the uncontrollable. When you focus only on what's truly yours, peace follows naturally, not because life gets easier, but because you stop fighting it. 2. Observing your emotions. Without becoming your emotions, once you understand where to place your energy, the next step is learning how to look at your emotions like an observer. This is a skill I believe is essential for anyone living in the chaos of the modern world. I once worked with a young woman named Amelia, 27 years old, in the media industry, constantly under pressure, constantly anxious. She told me her emotions hit her like a storm, and she didn't know what to do except let them sweep her away. I asked her, "When you're sad, do you feel like you are the sadness?" She nodded, and that was the root of the problem. You are not your emotions, you're only experiencing them. The Stoics had a beautiful way of putting it. Emotions are impressions, not identity. When you label yourself by your emotions, I'm an anxious person, I'm hot-tempered, I'm overly sensitive, you turn emotions into part of your identity. And once they become your identity, you lose the ability to change them. But if you take one step back and say, I'm feeling anxious right now, I'm experiencing a wave of anger, there's sadness passing through me. Suddenly the emotion stops gripping you by the throat. You detach from it. You see it instead of becoming it. And once you can observe it, you can choose how to respond. On Stoic Awakening More, I often teach a simple exercise. For the next 10 seconds, watch your emotions the way you watch waves hitting the shore. Don't analyze, don't judge, just notice. Just 10 seconds and you'll feel the distance between you and the emotion expand. And that distance is freedom. 3. Practicing the Stoic pause. This is one of the simplest techniques, yet it can transform your entire emotional personality. Most people think managing emotions means suppressing them or trying to be strong, but that's not what Stoicism teaches. The Stoics say, pause before you react, just one breath, one tiny moment, a small pause before you respond. Let me paint a picture for you. You get an email that irritates you, your heart speeds up, your shoulders tense, you want to fire back immediately, you want to defend yourself, prove your point, and if you hit send right then and there, you've let your emotions take the wheel. Now imagine another version of yourself, a more stoic version. You read the email, you feel the irritation rising, but instead of reacting, you pause for just 5 seconds, you take a slow breath, and you ask yourself, is this within my control? Is the reaction I'm about to give aligned with the person I'm trying to be? And then, you act from clarity, not emotion. That is the Stoic pause. One of my viewers, Jacob, who works in finance, told me he reduced more than 60% of his anger and impulsive reactions just by using the Stoic pause daily. He said, I realized the problem wasn't the world around me, it was the speed at which I reacted to it. A tiny pause, sometimes only 3 to 5 seconds, is enough to move you from instinct to intention. And in that pause, you reclaim control over yourself. When you combine these 3 elements, focusing on what you can control, separating yourself from your emotions, and pausing before you react, you build an emotional foundation that no storm in life can easily shake. And once you have that foundation, you're ready to go deeper. This is where the real inner transformation begins, and where many of my students on Stoic Awakening more say their entire emotional world started to change. 3 powerful Stoic tools, negative visualization, reframing, and acceptance, can help you stay grounded even when life feels chaotic. 4. Negative visualization, seeing the worst to stay calm. The name sounds pessimistic, but when you understand it correctly, this is one of the most powerful tools for developing emotional strength. I once worked with a man named Mitchell, a tech engineer in Seattle. He lived in constant fear that something bad might happen, losing his job, getting sick, failing, being rejected. Whenever I asked why he was so stressed, he said, "Because I don't know if the bad thing will happen." And that's what destroys inner peace, vague fear. In Stoicism, we don't run away from fear, we walk straight into it with intentional imagination. I taught Mitchell a simple negative visualization exercise. Imagine the worst case scenario, just enough to face it, not to scare yourself. The goal isn't fear, the goal is preparation and acceptance. For example, if you lose your job, you still have your skills, experience, family, health, you can rebuild. If your plan fails, you gain real-world wisdom on how to improve. If someone rejects you, your worth stays intact and life moves forward. After a few weeks, Mitchell told me, "I thought negative visualization would scare me more, but it made me calmer because I realized that even the worst case scenario wouldn't destroy me." That is the heart of this practice. If you can face the worst in your mind, you become unshakable in real life. Stoicism doesn't teach you to hope for bad things. It teaches you to see that you're stronger than the bad things. And once you truly understand that, your emotions stop controlling your life. 5. Reframing, the art of seeing every situation differently after negative visualization. We move into a more refined technique. Reframing, the art of changing your perspective to change your emotional experience. A situation by itself doesn't hurt you. It's the story you tell about the situation that hurts you. Think back to a time something upset you. Maybe a coworker criticized you. At first you were angry, you felt attacked, disrespected, but a few days later, once your mind settled, you looked at it again and thought, maybe he had a point, or maybe he was having a hard day and overreacted. And suddenly, the anger faded. That tells us something incredibly important. Your emotions didn't change because the event changed. Your emotions changed because your interpretation changed. One of my clients, Sarah, is a fitness coach. She used to get furious when her clients cancelled last minute. She felt disrespected, undervalued. But when I asked her, "Are you 100% sure they were trying to hurt you?" she paused. Over time, she learned to look at situations from different angles. Maybe the client was sick. Maybe something happened in their family. Maybe they didn't know how to communicate their needs. Maybe she was more sensitive that week because she was exhausted. A few months later, she became much calmer. She told me, "Once I stopped taking everything as a personal attack, my whole life felt lighter." Reframing is not pretending bad things are good. It's giving yourself the power to choose the story you live in. Choose a pessimistic story, you suffer. Choose a neutral story, you stay grounded. Choose an empowering story, you grow. In Stoic philosophy, your interpretation matters more than the event itself. 6. Acceptance, not fighting what is happening. And now we reach one of the deepest foundations of emotional mastery, accepting reality. This is the part most people misunderstand. They think acceptance means giving up, tolerating pain, or surrendering. But Stoicism has never taught that. Acceptance simply means seeing things exactly as they are, without denial, without avoidance, without self-deception. Acceptance is what allows you to take wise, effective action. I remember a woman named Olivia. She went through a painful divorce. She told me, "I spent 2 years wishing things would go back to the way they were. But life doesn't move according to our wishes. Life moves according to reality." The Stoics said, "Love the truth, even when it isn't beautiful." Because when you refuse to accept reality, you suffer twice. Once from what happened, and once from resisting what happened. When Olivia finally accepted that her marriage was over, something incredible happened. She began to heal, not because time passed, but because she stopped fighting reality. Acceptance doesn't mean standing still. Acceptance is the first step toward moving forward. Take another example, losing a job. If you cling to the idea, "This shouldn't have happened," you drown in anger and anxiety. But when you say, "It happened, so what can I do next?" your energy shifts from resistance to action. Emotion follows that shift. Your internal chaos softens into clarity. In Stoicism, acceptance is the doorway to inner freedom. When you accept reality, you stop fearing it. When you stop fearing it, you stop getting triggered. When you stop getting triggered, emotions become companions, not enemies. 7. 3 daily practices for the modern mind. Once you understand the foundations of Stoic emotional mastery, and once you've practiced deeper tools like negative visualization, reframing, and acceptance, the next step is to turn everything into a lifestyle. Not something you know, something you live. I always tell viewers on Stoic Awakening more, Stoicism isn't meant to be read, it's meant to be practiced. And to practice it, all you need are 3 simple but powerful daily habits, which you asked me to translate next, and I'll gladly do. A1. Morning clarity. A 3-minute reset to start your day. Mornings are the easiest time for the mind to get swept away. All it takes is opening your phone, and suddenly the world throws 100 things at you. Emails, messages, deadlines, news, and a storm of things you can't control. It's like stepping outside and getting hit by a strong gust of wind right in the face. If you start your day in chaos, your emotions will follow that chaos all day long. So I want you to try a simple 3-minute morning practice, something I've taught to more than 3,000 of my students. Step 1. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Step 2. Ask yourself, what is truly within my control today? Step 3. Write down 1 to 3 things. That's it. One of my clients, Kayla, who works in finance in Chicago, practiced this for an entire year. She told me, I realized that 80% of my morning anxiety came from things that weren't even mine to control. When I shifted my focus back to what was mine, I felt like I got my hands back on the steering wheel. Morning sets the foundation for your entire day. Start with intention and your emotions will follow that direction. A2. The Stoic pause. A moment of stillness before every reaction. We talked about the Stoic pause earlier, but now it's time to turn it into a daily ritual, like brushing your teeth, but for your mind. In modern life, we react way too fast. Someone says something rude, you snap. The car in front of you drives slow, you get irritated. Plans change, you get upset. Emotional reactions happen like flipping a switch. One moment you're fine and the next you're exploding. But Stoics don't react immediately, they pause. I want you to try this rule. When emotion rises, take 1 deep breath before you respond, just 1. You'll be surprised by how much changes. There's science behind this. A slow breath activates the part of your nervous system responsible for rational thinking. It pulls you out of instinct mode and brings you back into intentional mode. I had a student named Elijah, a chef in New York, working in a high-pressure kitchen where everyone reacts fast, sometimes too fast. He used to get into conflicts often, but after practicing the Stoic pause for 30 days, he told me, I realized I don't need to change who I am. I just needed to change the speed of my reactions. A tiny pause, 3 to 5 seconds, is enough to prevent regrettable words, impulsive actions, and most importantly, it makes you feel like you're back in control of your mind. 3. Evening reflection. 3 questions to reset your mind at night. The end of the day doesn't mean the end of your emotions. You still carry the little things you didn't process, a tense meeting, a frustrating conversation, the anxieties that never dissolved. And if you go to sleep with a chaotic mind, you wake up with an even more chaotic one. That's why the Stoics had a simple but powerful nightly ritual, evening reflection. I call it resetting your mind before sleep. Just ask yourself these 3 questions. 1. When today did I let my emotions control me? Simply acknowledge it, no guilt, no judgment. 2. When today did I control my emotions? So you can see your progress. 3. What can I do better tomorrow? A gentle direction, not pressure. One of my longtime viewers on Stoic Awakening More, Mark from Texas, practiced these 3 questions for 6 months. He told me his mind felt lighter, clearer, and more stable. And he said something I'll never forget. Emotions are only scary when I don't look at them. Once I name them, they become gentler. These 3 practices, morning, during the day, and evening, form a healthy emotional cycle. They let you start your day with intention, navigate challenges with clarity, and end your day in peace. Stoicism doesn't make you perfect, it makes you intentional. A person who knows what they're feeling, why they're feeling it, and how to respond with kindness and reason. When we've walked through all 3 parts of this journey, the Stoic foundations, the deeper emotional techniques, and the daily practices that make inner peace real, I want you to pause for a moment and look at yourself. Not to judge, not to compare, but to realize how far you've already come. Because emotional transformation doesn't happen with loud breakthroughs. It happens quietly, in small, everyday moments. A deep breath before anger, a new perspective instead of an assumption, a moment of acceptance instead of resistance, a clear morning intention, 3 honest questions before bed. Each small step is shaping you into a calmer, stronger, more grounded version of yourself. And I want you to know this, you don't have to be a perfect Stoic to master your emotions, you just have to begin. And keep going. Stoicism was never meant for superhumans. It was meant for ordinary people, people with families, responsibilities, fears, pressure, and busy lives, just like you. People who refuse to let emotions drive their life. People who choose to be the one holding the steering wheel. And right now, you're doing exactly that. I often tell my students, if you reduce just 20% of your negative emotional reactions, you improve 80% of your quality of life. And the beautiful thing is, Stoicism gives you the tools to do this every day, even in a world full of noise, expectations, and uncertainty. Remember, you can't control the world, but you can control your response. You can't choose your emotions, but you can choose how you live with them. You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. And it all begins with the smallest awareness that Stoicism gives you. If what I've shared today resonates with you, if you feel calmer, clearer, or simply more aware, I invite you to stay connected with me and our community on Stoic Awakening More. I created this channel because I believe everyone deserves emotional freedom. Not freedom from emotions, but freedom from being controlled by them. And I want to give you tools, real stories, and practical lessons you can use every day to build a stronger inner life. If you want to keep growing, learning, and deepening your Stoic mindset, please hit subscribe, tap like if this brought you value, and share this video with someone who needs a little peace today. Every subscribe, every comment helps this channel reach people who truly need these messages, and it tells me that what I'm sharing is finding the right hearts. There will be many more videos ahead about calmness, inner strength, slow living, and creating inner freedom in a noisy world. Thank you for staying with me until the end today. I'll see you in the next video on Stoic Awakening More, where together we awaken a stronger mind, one day at a time.